part, the world of Elara was a tapestry woven from threads of magic and echoes of ancient empires, where the land itself sang with the remnants of once mighty spells. Across the verdant plains and mist-cloaked mountains, stories whispered of the shattered star, a relic of unimaginable power, scattered into fragments by the gods themselves. Its pieces were thought lost to time, hidden within the world's forgotten corners. In the heart of this world, beneath the shadow of the Ardran peaks, lay the city of Serafel. It was a place of intricate canals and soaring spires, where marketplaces buzzed with life and the scent of exotic spices lingered in the air. Yet beneath its vibrant surface, tension simmered. The ruling council of Serafel, known as the Eclipsed Court, wielded a grasp of iron and mystery, their agendas as enigmatic as the relics they coveted. Our story begins with a young scribe named Kael, whose life was entwined with secrets not of his making. He had stumbled upon a fragment of the shattered star, hidden within the catacombs of the city's oldest library. The fragment hummed with an energy that tugged at his very soul. Kael was not alone in his discovery. Watching him from the shadows was Arin, a nimble thief with a heart carved from the streets and a past she could not outrun. Her eyes were sharp, her movements silent, and she saw in Kael a light that flickered with potential yet untapped. Together they ventured into the labyrinthine depths of the library, its corridors echoing with the whispers of ancient scholars. Here, among the dust of forgotten tomes, they found a map etched into the walls, a guide to the hidden fragments of the shattered star. But they were not the only seekers. From the east, a warlord known as Zareth the Conqueror marched with his army, a legion bound by blood and fire. Zareth sought the shattered star to cement his dominion, guided by prophecies spoken in tongues lost to mortals. His presence cast a long shadow, and his reach was relentless. As Kael and Arin plotted their path, the first twist unfurled. The very scroll they had deciphered with the map exploded into flames, revealing an ancient sigil, a bond forged by magic that now linked their fates. The sigil pulsed with the urgency of a living thing, its energy a beacon to those attuned to its call. Fleeing the library and the approaching soldiers of Zareth, Kael and Arin slipped into the city's underbelly, where the canals became their hiding place. They navigated the labyrinth with instinctual grace, hearts pounding as the sounds of pursuit echoed ever closer. Crouched beneath an arched bridge, Arin's eyes met Kael's, and in that moment their unspoken alliance was sealed. The chase led them to the river's edge, where they leapt onto a small boat tethered to the bank. Arin's deft hands untied it with a flick of her wrist, and they were carried away by the current, the city's lights fading into the distance. As dawn crept across the sky, they reached the outskirts of Serafel, where the ruins of an ancient watchtower loomed, shrouded in mist. Here the second reveal awaited. Among the broken stones, they encountered a guardian spirit bound to the tower by an oath as old as the stones themselves. The spirit's voice was a whisper on the wind, a remnant of the empire that once was. It conveyed a vision, a world torn asunder by the misuse of the shattered star, and the role Kael and Arin were destined to play in its reclamation or its ruin. Guided by the spirit's ethereal light, they entered a hidden chamber beneath the tower. There they found the next fragment of the shattered star, buried within a mural depicting the fall of a civilization. As Kael touched the fragment, knowledge surged into his mind, images of a journey across Ilarion, of alliances and betrayals, of strength found in unity and the power of choice. Their respite was short-lived. Zareth's soldiers had followed, and the ruin became a battlefield. The clash of steel echoed through the air, and the scent of magic mingled with the earth. Arin moved with the grace of a dancer, her daggers a blur of motion, while Kael unleashed the burgeoning power of the fragments he now carried. In the midst of battle, the final twist emerged. One of Zareth's lieutenants, a mage named Elara, had been sent not to capture the fragments, but to ally with them. She bore a hidden agenda, seeing in Kael and Arin a possibility for redemption long denied to her by Zareth's tyranny. With Elara's aid, they turned the tide, driving the soldiers back into the wilderness. As the dust settled, Elara revealed her knowledge of a hidden refuge, a place where the remaining fragments might be found, where the threads of fate could be woven anew. Together, the three set forth into the untamed lands beyond Serafel, their steps guided by purpose and an unyielding resolve. The journey ahead promised peril and discovery, the path as fragile as the trust that bound them. Yet in each other's company, they carried the hope of a destiny rewritten, of a world healed by the light of the shattered star. Part beneath the canopy of the great oaken wood, where the trees stood like ancient sentinels and the whispers of the forest were carried on the wind, Kael, Arin, and Elara ventured deeper into the embrace of the wilds. The light of the shattered star's fragments pulsed rhythmically within Kael's satchel, casting faint patterns upon the forest floor that danced like specters in the shadows. The path was not without its hazards. The oaken wood was home to creatures both wondrous and fearsome, and not all its denizens were welcoming. The trio found themselves constantly on alert, for the forest had eyes and ears in abundance. Yet it was not the beasts that posed their first challenge in this verdant labyrinth, but the forest itself, alive with ancient magics, protector and testifier of those who dared trespass. Elara, with her mage's intuition, led them through the thickening underbrush, her senses attuned to the flow of magic that wove through the very air. As they breached a clearing bathed in dappled sunlight, she paused, her eyes narrowing with suspicion. "Something stirs beyond the veil," she murmured, her hand tracing an arcane sigil in the air. Magic shimmered around her fingers, revealing a path hidden from mundane sight, a passage into the heart of the forest, known as the Veil of Whispers. Kael and Arin followed closely, stepping through the veil, and into a realm that seemed to exist halfway between reality and dream. Here the air was thick with enchantment, and the whispers grew louder, as if the forest itself was trying to communicate with them. Arin, ever perceptive, strained to listen, catching fragments of prophecy and warning. It was here that they met Phaelith, an enigmatic figure of ethereal grace, her skin the color of moonlight, and her eyes the fathomless depths of night. She was a guardian of the veil, a being born of the forest's magic and bound to its mysteries. Phaelith regarded them with a gaze that seemed to pierce the very soul. "You seek the fragments of the shattered star," she intoned, her voice like the rustling of leaves in a gentle breeze. "Yet there is much you do not understand. The star's power is not merely a gift, but a burden, its pieces scattered to keep the world in balance." Kael stepped forward, his determination unbowed. "We seek them to prevent Zareth's conquest, to heal what has been broken." Phaelith's inscrutable features softened, her expression touched by something akin to sorrow. "Then you must learn of the star's true nature. Follow me." With Phaelith as their guide, they traversed the veil's hidden paths, where the natural and the mystical intertwined seamlessly. She led them to the Grove of Echoes, a sanctum where the echoes of past, present, and future converged. Within the grove, Phaelith wove a tapestry of light and shadow, revealing visions of ages gone by. They saw the shattered star's creation by the keeper gods, its energy meant to sustain the balance between light and darkness. Its shattering was no accident, but a desperate act to prevent its misuse by mortals whose hearts had grown dark with ambition. As the visions faded, Phaleth spoke again, her voice urgent. To reclaim the fragments is to assume a great responsibility. Each piece you gather draws the attention of forces ancient and unforgiving. You must tread carefully, for not all who seek the star can be trusted. The revelation weighed heavily upon them, yet it was Arin who first broke the silence. We're not alone then. Others will come, for good or ill. Elara nodded, her resolve strengthened by the knowledge. We must be swift and wary. Xerath's reach is long, and his alliance with the dark clans grants him power beyond mere armies. Thanking Phaleth for her guidance, the trio resumed their journey, their purpose clearer yet more daunting. As they exited the Vale, the forest began to change, giving way to craggy hills and swirling mists, a realm known as the Weeping Crags, haunted by echoes of its own. Here, under a slate-gray sky, they found another fragment, embedded within the stone of a forgotten altar. But as Kael pried it loose, the very air shuddered, releasing ancient warding spells that summoned spectral guardians to defend their charge. A battle of sorcery and steel erupted. Arin danced through the mist, her daggers glinting with deadly precision, while Elara unleashed torrents of arcane fire, their flames licking hungrily at the phantasmal foes. Kael, feeling the fragment's energy converge within him, wielded magic with growing confidence, weaving barriers and striking with bursts of light. As the last of the guardians dissolved into mist, the third major twist revealed itself. The fragment pulsed with a different, darker energy. It was tainted, touched by corruption that threatened to seep into Kael's very being. Desperate to cleanse it, Elara drew upon her deepest reserves of magic, channeling a purifying force that fought against the corruption. The struggle was brutal and intense, nearly overwhelming them all, but after what seemed an eternity, the fragment's light shone pure once more. But the ordeal had left a mark. A shadow lingered, hinting that even the purest of intentions could be marred by darkness. Kael, Arin, and Elara stood on the precipice of their next journey, understanding with dawning clarity that their quest was no longer just to find the fragments, but to guard against the shadows that sought to claim them. Their path led onward, into lands yet unexplored, with destinies intertwined and the world's fate balanced upon the edge of a shattered star. The journey through the Weeping Crags had drawn shadow and light together, binding Kael, Arin, and Elara in a fellowship both uneasy and unbreakable. As they descended into the valley below, a distant rumble of thunder echoed across the horizon, heralding their arrival at the Storm Marches, a land of rolling tempests and skies alive with electricity. The air crackled with energy, the atmosphere charged with an intensity that set the hair on their arms standing. Storm marches were notorious for their unpredictable weather, yet there lay a beauty in the chaos, an untamed magnificence that mirrored the volatility of their quest. Here, in this realm of ceaseless storms, they sought an oracle, an ancient seer named Mawis, whose visions were said to pierce the veils of time itself. Her domain was nestled within the cleft of storms, a chasm carved by the hands of gods and lightning. As they approached the cleft, their path was barred by gale-force winds and lightning that danced dangerously close. Elara stepped forward, her eyes alight with a defiance that matched the storm. "This is no ordinary tempest," she warned, raising her hands to weave a shield of magic that wrapped around them, parting the winds like a ship cutting through sea. The trio pressed onward, guided by the relentless pulse of the shattered star's fragments. The cleft loomed ahead, a towering wall of rock and storm, where they found Malus waiting amidst the chaos, a figure unmoved by the fury of the elements. Malus was as timeless as the mountains, her eyes pools of molten gold that flickered with lightning's fire. She regarded them with a knowing smile, her voice a melody of thunder and calm. You seek the star's heart, but know this, the stars hold sway over us all, their fates as inescapable as the storm. The oracle's chamber was lit by the storm's brilliance, casting shifting shadows across ancient scrolls and tomes. Here, Malus wove a tapestry of prophecy, her fingers tracing the stars' patterns as she spoke of paths yet untrodden. You will find the next fragment within the eye of the storm, Malus declared, her words a revelation wrapped in warning. But beware, the truth you find there may shatter more than the star. With a gesture, she conjured an image of the eye, a swirling vortex at the heart of the marches, cloaked in tempest and mystery. And within that eye a figure stood, a man clad in shadows, his features obscured, but his presence a promise of danger. Their course set, Kael, Arin, and Elara braced themselves against the gale, their resolve tempered by the oracle's insights. They ventured deeper into the storm marches, their path marked by lightning's embrace and thunder's roar. As they neared the eye, the storm's fury peaked, a maelstrom of wind and rain that threatened to tear them asunder. Yet within the chaos, Kael discovered a new power. The fragments resonated with the storm's energy, allowing him to channel its force. Summoning the storm's power, Kael parted the shroud of rain and wind, revealing the eye, a calm within the chaos, where the air was still and the ground dry. In its center stood a weathered altar, atop which lay a fragment of the shattered star. But they were not alone. Stepping from the shadows beyond the altar came the figure from Malus's vision, a knight draped in dark armor, his eyes hidden beneath a helm, but the menace in his stance unmistakable. "Leave the fragment," he commanded, his voice as cold as the storm was fierce. "It is not yours to claim." A standoff ensued, tension thick with the promise of violence. Arin's grip tightened on her daggers, while Elara prepared a spell of protection. Yet it was Kael who stepped forward, his voice steady. "We seek it not for power, but to set right what has been broken." The knight hesitated, the shadows of his helm flickering with doubt. Yet before he could respond, the storm surged anew, its fury unbound. Lightning arced across the sky, striking the altar and shattering the calm within the eye, raising the stakes of their confrontation. In the ensuing battle, the knight struck with the swiftness of a storm, his blade a blur of dark steel. Arin matched his speed with skill, her movements precise, while Elara wove shields and fire to turn the tide. Kael, tapping into the storm's energy, wielded lightning as both sword and shield, the fragment's power fueling his defiance. As their clash crescendoed, another twist unfurled. The knight's helm was knocked aside, revealing a face both familiar and unexpected. Finnian, an old friend of Kael's, thought lost in the annals of war. Recognition flashed between them, a moment where conflict gave way to connection. The storm's fury began to subside, the energy dissipating back into the sky. The realization of their shared past brought a tentative truce. Finnian's purpose revealed. He was a guardian, sworn to protect the fragments from all, even from friends. Yet in the eye's stillness, the shifting dynamics of their journey took root. Finnian, convinced of their cause, joined their quest, adding strength to their burgeoning alliance. As they claimed the fragment, a new understanding dawned. The shattered star's pieces were not just relics of power, but catalysts for change. They're gathering a pivotal turn in the fate of Alarion. With a new companion and a deeper resolve, they set forth from the eye of the storm, the path ahead cloaked in mystery and promise. The storm's embrace had tested their bonds and widened their world. But it was in the gathering shadows that their true challenge awaited, one that would demand of them everything they had and more. The journey from the storm marches left our heroes with a sense of purpose as taut as a bowstring, a resolve tempered by new alliances and tempered dreams. With Finnian now among them, they ventured westward, their path leading toward the forgotten region of Valehaven, a place veiled in legend and mystery, where reality blurred with enchantment. Valehaven was a land said to be lost in time, its existence a secret kept by the thick mists that hung over its borders like a shroud. As they approached, the mists parted reluctantly, revealing a landscape painted in hues of autumn. The air was rich with the scent of fallen leaves and the whispers of unseen spirits, as if the land itself was alive with stories untold. Here, amid groves of ancient oaks and fields of golden wheat, the past held sway. Valehaven was a tapestry of forgotten history, where the ruins of an empire long vanished lay entwined with the roots of mighty trees. It was here the next fragment was rumored to rest, within the heart of the Enigma Grove, a place where magic and mystery danced hand in hand. Their guide through this realm was Liara, a ranger whose eyes were as sharp as her senses keen. She emerged from the forest like a phantom, her movements silent as the falling leaves. With hair the color of chestnuts and a gaze that missed nothing, she greeted them with a nod, her voice carrying the lilt of a songbird. Valehaven is a land of echoes, Liara explained, leading them through the winding paths. It remembers what the world has forgotten, and its secrets are not given lightly. The journey to Enigma Grove was filled with wonders and perils alike. The mists played tricks on the mind, revealing pathways that led to nowhere and shadows that seemed to move of their own accord. Yet beneath the trickery lay a beauty untold, a realm where harmony with nature was more than a dream, but a living reality. As they trekked deeper, the grove revealed itself, a circle of ancient stone monoliths, draped in vines and moss, surrounding a pool of water as still as glass. The air hummed with an energy that resonated with the fragments Kael bore, a song of magic that thrummed in harmony with their quest. But the grove was guarded. Emerging from the shadows came the warden of Valehaven, an imposing figure clad in armor that glimmered with a patina of age. His face was a mask of stern authority, his voice a deep rumble that echoed through the clearing. "You seek the heart of the grove," the warden intoned, his eyes never leaving Kael. "Yet its secrets are not easily won. Prove your worth, and the grove may grant you its blessing." The warden's challenge was as much a test of spirit as of strength, demanding they confront the echoes of the past. Visions of forgotten battles and lost loves swirled within the grove, testing their resolve and forcing them to face shadows that lingered in their hearts. For Kael, it was the memory of his childhood, the moment he realized the burden of his path. For Arin, the streets of her youth, where trust was as scarce as sunlight. Elara saw the family she'd left behind, their faces a reminder of what she had yet to reclaim. And for Finnian, the day he chose duty over friendship, a choice that had led him far from those he had once called kin. Liara, though not burdened by the fragments, faced her own trial, the weight of a guardian's oath, a promise to protect the fragile boundary between this realm and the world beyond. Each faced their past, their fears, and emerged not unscathed, but stronger for the truth confronted. Through their trials, they earned not only the warden's respect, but the grove's blessing. The fragment revealed itself, rising from the pool, its light illuminating the verdant shadows. As Kael reached for it, the final twist of this chapter unfolded. The fragment awoke a sleeping guardian, a creature of wood and stone, its eyes alight with a fierce intelligence. A guardian rose from the earth, a colossus bound to the grove's defense, its challenge one that required both might and heart. The ensuing battle was a dance of life and death, where the forest itself became both ally and adversary. Arin moved with the fluidity of water, her strikes precise and true, while Finnian wielded his sword with the certainty of purpose. Elara's magic wove around them, a shield against the guardian's might, while Kael, the fragment's energy pulsing through him, sought a solution beyond violence. It was Liara who found the key, her voice raised in song, a lullaby of the forest that calmed the guardian's spirit, reminding it of its purpose, not as protector of the fragment, but of the balance it represented. The guardian retreated, its vigil resumed, and the fragment was theirs. As they left the grove, a sense of peace settled upon the companions, a harmony forged in the crucible of shared challenge and understanding. Valehaven's mists closed behind them as they emerged, the path ahead clearer, though fraught with new challenges. Their quest had grown beyond the fragments, now a journey of reconciliation, not just with the world, but with themselves. And as they set their sights on the horizon, the promise of new adventures beckoned, the final pieces of the shattered star still waiting to be found. End. The road from Valehaven was one of introspection and growth, where each step they took was a testament to the bond now forged between Kael, Arin, Elara, Finnian, and Liara. They traveled eastward toward the fabled land of Liara, where the sun descended each evening in a blaze of color and light. It was here that the next piece of their quest lay hidden among the glimmering sands and azure seas, a place where legend and reality shared the same breath. Liara, land of 1,000 hues, was home to the Mirror of Shadows, a mystical lake said to reveal the truth hidden within those who gazed upon its surface. The legend spoke of its creation by a long-lost civilization, whose mastery of magic was whispered across Ilarion. Here, the lake held the last fragment they sought, and perhaps answers to questions still unasked. Their arrival in Liara was heralded by a procession of colors as the sun dipped beneath the horizon, painting the sky in shades of amethyst and rose. The air was perfumed with the scent of salt and sun-warmed earth, and the locals greeted them with warmth, their eyes filled with tales of wonder and caution. As they made their way through the vibrant marketplace of Liara, Liara's coastal city, the bustling streets were alive with music and laughter. Arin, ever watchful, found herself drawn to a vendor selling trinkets and charms, one of which was a compass, said to point toward one's heart's desire. The vendor, a wizened old woman with eyes like the sea, gifted it to Arin with a cryptic smile and a warning. Beware what you seek, for the heart's desire can be as elusive as the shadows themselves. Guided by whispers and intuition, they departed Liara at dawn, setting their course for the Mirror of Shadows. The path led them through dunes and over cliffs that sang with the echoes of the sea, their journey watched by the ever-present sun. The mirror lay hidden within the embrace of a secluded cove, its surface as smooth and flawless as glass. It was here that the next challenge awaited, not in battle, but in revelation. Gathered at the mirror's edge, each of them was faced with a reflection that whispered the truths they carried within. The surface shimmered and danced, revealing visions that only they could see, secrets and truths, fears and hopes, laid bare like pages from a sacred tome. For Kael, it was the burden of potential, the fear of becoming what he fought against. Arin saw the duality of her life's choices. The paths she might have taken had fate been less cruel. Elara confronted the loneliness of her power, the ghosts of love and loss. Finnian faced the duality of loyalty and betrayal, his heart torn between what was and what could be. And for Liara, the mirror revealed the weight of her guardianship and the freedom that lay just beyond her reach. As they grappled with their reflections, the final trial emerged, not of self, but of unity. The mirror's truth was not meant to divide, but to unite, to weave their fragmented visions into a tapestry of collective strength. The revelation was as illuminating as the sun breaking through a storm. The fragment rose from the mirror's depths, a beacon of pure light that banished the shadows, leaving only clarity and purpose. In this moment of triumph, the first unexpected twist occurred. A shape formed from the shadows upon the mirror, Zareth's visage, his presence a reminder that their enemy was never far. His voice, filled with malice and promise, cut through the air like a blade. The path you walk is fraught with peril, his image declared, eyes lit with unholy fire. But know this, the darkness holds secrets you cannot fathom. With those words the mirror's surface rippled, distorting his image before it vanished entirely, leaving a silence that throbbed with the echo of his threat. With the fragment in hand and new resolve in their hearts, they left the cove, the sun setting behind them like a watchful guardian. Liara, with its beauty and secrets, had tested their mettle and offered its wisdom. As they made their way back to Kalora, the compass gifted to Arin now pointed true, guiding them toward the land where the final piece lay hidden. The journey had brought them far and tested their souls, but the promise of the shattered stars' reunification hovered just beyond the horizon. The path was set, but the journey was not yet finished. With each step forward, they forged a destiny intertwined with the fate of Arin, a tapestry woven not just by magic and might, but by the enduring strength of friendship and the courage to face the unknown. The stars above shimmered with the promise of new adventures, the final chapters of their story waiting to be written in the light of a new dawn. Heart. The journey from Liara carried the companions eastward, into land where the sky met the earth in a dazzling array of color and starry night. As the compass gifted to Arin guided their path, they reached the enigmatic region known as the Argent Vale, a place where the heavens seemed to touch the ground, and the veil between worlds was whisper thin. Argent Vale was a land of shimmering fields and gentle hills, where the very air seemed to glow with an ethereal light. The vale was famed for its celestial beauty, but beneath its serene facade lay ancient mysteries and trials whispered of in tales told by firelight. At the heart of the vale lay the labyrinth of starlight, an intricate maze carved from silver stone and moonlit dreams. It was here the final fragment of the shattered star awaited, hidden within the labyrinth's depths and guarded by riddles of light and shadow. Their arrival at the labyrinth was met with a chill breeze and a sky alight with the glow of countless stars. Each star, it was said, represented a wish granted or a dream realized, a tapestry of hope woven across the night. As they stood before the entrance, an unexpected figure emerged from the shadows, a wanderer, clad in robes woven from stardust, his presence as elusive as the stars themselves. He called himself Thalor, a seeker of wisdom and guardian of the labyrinth's secrets. "To enter is to seek the truth of your heart," Thalor proclaimed, his voice like a melody spun from the night sky. "But beware, for the labyrinth reflects the seeker's soul, and only those who understand their path may emerge whole." The labyrinth opened before them, its entrance a gate formed by two towering pillars of light. With Thalor's blessing, they stepped into the maze, the ground beneath them shimmering with celestial patterns. Within the labyrinth, the air was heavy with anticipation, each turn and passage a reflection of their deepest selves. The path was lit by the soft glow of starlight, creating shadows that danced with secrets untold and possibilities unexplored. As they made their way through the twisting corridors, the first challenge revealed itself. A doorway of light blocked their way, engraved with cryptic symbols and runes. The key lay in understanding the message, a riddle that tested their unity and their understanding of the journey behind and ahead. The light of a star, the shadow of a soul, the truth in unity and the strength of the whole, Kael read aloud, his voice steady as he met the eyes of his companions. Together, they pieced together the riddle's meaning, each contributing their insight and experience, unlocking the door and revealing the path forward. Deeper into the labyrinth they traveled, facing trials that tested their courage and trust. Visions danced before their eyes, echoes of the past, glimpses of futures yet undetermined. Each vision was a reminder of their journey's stakes, the consequences of both success and failure. As they neared the labyrinth's heart, the second twist emerged, a corridor lined with mirrors, each reflecting a different version of themselves. Here, they confronted their innermost fears, the doubts that lingered at the edges of their resolve. Arin saw herself alone, a shadow of mistrust that threatened her bond with the group. Elara faced a future where her power was her only companion, the weight of solitude bearing down like stone. Finnian wrestled with the duality of loyalty, a choice that could tear him from those he held dear. Liara confronted the freedom she yearned for, a choice between duty and desire. Kael, at the heart of the reflections, saw the potential for corruption, the power of the fragments twisting into something dark and all-consuming. Yet, in the midst of fear, a realization took root. Each of them was stronger than the sum of their parts, their unity, a light that banished the shadows of doubt. With newfound resolve they navigated the mirrored corridor, their reflections fading into starscapes as they reached the labyrinth's core, a chamber of crystalline beauty, where the final fragment awaited, suspended in a cascade of starlight. But even as they reached for the fragment, the final twist revealed itself. Zareth, their relentless foe, appeared within the chamber, drawn by the fragment's power. His presence was a storm of shadow and flame, his intentions clear as he sought to claim the power for himself. A battle erupted beneath the starlit dome, the clash of magic and steel reverberating through the labyrinth. Arin moved like a shadow, striking with precision and intent, while Elara unleashed arcane fury, her spells a symphony of light. Finnian's blade met Zareth's, their duel a fierce dance of strength and skill. Liara, with her bow of silver light, rained down arrows that shone like falling stars. Kael, with the fragment's power coursing through him, faced Zareth. Their conflict a manifestation of light versus dark, creation versus destruction. The chamber pulsed with energy, the stakes of their quest distilled into this singular moment. In the end, it was not magic nor might that turned the tide, but understanding. Kael, realizing the fragment's true purpose, reached out with a hand, not of power, but of insight. The fragments, activated by the harmony of their group, enveloped Zareth in a light that stripped away the shadows, revealing a man broken by ambition. In the aftermath, Zareth lay defeated, his power dissipated, his threat quelled. The final fragment, united with the others, formed the shattered star, its light a beacon of hope and possibility. With the labyrinth's blessing and Thaler's guidance, they emerged into the night, the sky above a canvas of stars that shone with a promise of new beginnings. The journey had come full circle, their quest complete, but the world of Ilarion awaited, its future shaped by the choices they had made. Together, with hearts renewed and eyes set upon the horizon, they stepped forward, ready to write the next chapter in the story of their world. A tale, not just of adventure, but of unity, discovery, and the enduring power of hope. With the shattered star restored, its light illuminating the path ahead, the companions found themselves not at the end of their journey, but at the threshold of a new beginning. The fragments, now whole, pulsed with a gentle radiance, a symbol of unity forged through trials, battles, and the bonds of friendship. As they descended from the Argent Veil, the lands unfurled before them, like a map etched in living light, each step guided by the echoes of the star's song. Their destination lay to the south, where the heartlands of Ilarion thrummed with the life and magic of an ancient world reborn. The journey led them to Estelwood, a city nestled within a vast forest of emerald and gold, where trees reached skyward like ancient guardians. Here the air was vibrant with the energy of renewal, the city alive with the pulse of the land itself, a symphony of voices, laughter, and the rustling of leaves. Estelwood was a place where magic was not merely practiced, but lived, its people in harmony with the world around them. The arrival of the companions was met with celebration, for news of their quest and its success had traveled swiftly, carried on the wings of rumor and hope. Yet among the festivity, they sensed an undercurrent of unease, a tension that clung to the city like a shadow. To understand its source, they sought the wisdom of Eldrin, the elder of Estelwood, a sage whose knowledge was as deep as the forests that sheltered his people. Eldrin welcomed them with warmth, his eyes twinkling with the light of countless stars. He listened intently to their tale, nodding as the story unfolded beneath the canopies of twilight. The shattered star is a force for balance, he explained, but its reunion has awakened more than just its power. Forces long dormant stir within the heart of Ilarion, seeking to reclaim what was lost. It was then they learned of the Verdant Coil, an ancient order sworn to protect the balance between magic and nature, led by a mysterious figure known only as the Verdant Warden. This enigmatic leader had called for a gathering, a council of magic and might, to discuss the future of Ilarion in the wake of the star's restoration. Intrigued and compelled by the gravity of the gathering, the companions agreed to join the council, their presence seen as both a boon and a necessity. As they prepared for the journey to the Grove of Concord, where the council would convene, the shattered star resonated with a new purpose, its light a beacon of interconnected destinies. The path to the grove was fraught with both natural beauty and subtle peril. The forest whispered of old magic and new beginnings, its heart a tapestry of vibrant life. Yet beneath its surface lurked creatures twisted by entropy, remnants of the chaos left by the star's shattering, now drawn to its renewed energy like moths to flame. In one such encounter, they faced a pack of shadowkin, beings of living shadow, their forms shifting and fluid, feeding on the remnants of magic. The battle was swift and fierce, the companions fighting with the precision and unity forged by their journey. Arin's daggers cut through the dark, while Elara wove spells of binding light, holding the shadows at bay. Finnian, with blade in hand, defended his comrades with valor, as Liara's arrows found their mark. Kael, standing at the center, channeled the power of the shattered star, igniting a radiant barrier that repelled the Shadowkin, dissolving them into whispers on the wind. The victory was hard won, a reminder of the challenges yet to come, tempered by the knowledge that together they could face whatever the future held. Their path cleared, they reached the Grove of Concord, a monumental circle of ancient oaks whose branches formed a living cathedral above, their leaves shimmering with a myriad of colors. Here, around a table carved from a single great tree, gathered the leaders of Elarian's factions. Mages and warriors, druids and scholars, all united by the desire to forge a new era from the embers of the old. It was in this sacred space that they first met the verdant warden, a figure cloaked in robes of living leaves, their presence a blend of strength and serenity. The warden's voice was a blend of wind and wisdom, resonating with the authority of the earth itself. The shattered star's return heralds both hope and danger, the warden intoned, their gaze sweeping across the assembly. Its power is a gift for all, but only if wielded with unity and respect for the balance we seek to preserve. As the council commenced, discussions flowed like the rivers of Elarian, each voice a thread in the tapestry of fate they wove together. Some advocated for the star's power to be used as a beacon of peace. Others feared it would draw forth ancient evils best left forgotten. Throughout the deliberations, the companions spoke of their journey, their trials, and the lessons learned. Their tale was a testament to unity and courage, a promise of what could be achieved when differences were set aside in pursuit of a common goal. The council concluded with a pledge, a covenant to honor the balance, to protect the star's legacy, and ensure it served the good of all Elarian's peoples. With this vow made, a new dawn broke over the grove, the sun's light weaving through the branches to cast a radiant glow upon those gathered. As they departed the Grove of Concord, the companions carried with them not just the shattered star's light, but the hope of a future they had helped to shape, a world where magic and nature, past and future, could coexist in harmony. Their journey, though far from over, had carved a path through the annals of history, a beacon for those who would follow in their wake. With each new horizon, new adventures awaited, and with each step, they walked not just in the light of the shattered star, but in the strength of their friendship and the promise of a world reborn. Having forged a covenant beneath the ancient oaks of the Grove of Concord, Kael, Arin, Elara, Finnian, and Liara set forth anew, the shattered star's light a constant companion in their quest to safeguard the balance of Elarian. Each of them bore the weight of the star's legacy, its power, a reminder of both their journey's triumphs and the challenges yet to come. Their path led them northward, into the heart of the Whispering Canopy, a vast expanse where the trees soared into the heavens, their branches entwined in a lattice of verdant life. Here, the world was a mosaic of shadows and light, the forest floor dappled with the sun's fleeting kisses. The canopy was alive with the chorus of 1,000 creatures, their voices a symphony of life in its purest form. Yet, beneath the harmonious veneer lay an undercurrent of tension, a whispering of secrets long kept hidden by the forest's ancient guardians. Guided by a map entrusted to them by Eldrin, the companions sought the Elder Tree, a mythical being said to possess the wisdom of the ages, its roots entwined with the very heart of Alarion. It was here, under the Elder Tree's watchful gaze, that they hoped to find answers to the questions that lingered in the wake of their journey's odyssey. The way through the canopy was fraught with obstacles, paths obscured by dense foliage and winding trails that shifted like the forest's own pulse. Arin's keen instincts guided them through the maze of leaf and limb, her footsteps silent upon the soft earth, while Liara's affinity with nature revealed hidden trails and unseen wonders. As they journeyed deeper, the forest itself seemed to shift around them, a living entity of ancient magic and primeval beauty. The trees towered like titans, their trunks etched with the stories of ages past, their leaves whispering tales of change and continuity in the language of the wind. It was within this majestic embrace that they encountered the Silvani, the forest's elusive protectors, beings of ethereal grace, their skin a tapestry of bark and leaf. The Silvani moved with the elegance of a breeze, their presence a reminder of nature's enduring strength and fragility alike. The leader of the Silvani, a figure named Marion, regarded the companions with eyes like pools of starlight, his voice a harmony of rustling leaves. "You seek the Elder Tree," he intoned, the forest echoing his words. "Its wisdom is not easily given, but if your hearts are true, the paths of light may lead you." Marion's words were both a blessing and a challenge, a test of their resolve and sincerity. With the Silvani's guidance, they approached the Elder Tree, its presence a beacon that pulsed with the rhythm of the world itself. The Elder Tree stood at the heart of a sunlit glade, its immense boughs arching skyward like the pillars of a natural cathedral. The air around it was thick with magic, each breath a connection to the roots that spread far and wide, binding the earth together in an embrace as old as time. As they drew near, the tree spoke, not in words, but in a language of feeling and thought, a communion with the essence of Alarion itself. Images flowed like river currents, visions of past and future entwined, a tapestry of life, the world in flux, its fate a dance of light and shadow. In this communion, Kael felt the star's resonance deepen, its power an extension of the Elder Tree's wisdom. It revealed the star's history, a creation not just of the gods, but of the world's soul, shattered to preserve a balance once threatened by unchecked ambition. Yet within this revelation lay another twist, the knowledge of an ancient rift, a fracture within the fabric of magic itself, a wound that festered, feeding the shadows they had encountered, threatening to unmake the harmony they sought to protect. With the Elder Tree's guidance, the companions understood their new purpose, to heal the rift, to restore the flow of magic and life, to ensure the balance they fought for endured beyond their time. The path ahead was fraught with danger and uncertainty, but together they stood resolved, their bond a light against the encroaching dark. As they took leave of the Elder Tree, the forest sang them onward, its whispers a promise of support and strength. The Silvani watched their departure with eyes full of hope and ancient wisdom, their silent presence a reminder of the pact between man and nature, a bond as vital as the air they breathed, as enduring as the life they cherished. With the forest behind them and the open road ahead, the companions felt the weight of destiny upon their shoulders. The shattered star, a guide and guardian. Their journey was far from over, each step taken a testament to the promise of renewal and the enduring power of unity. In the heart of Ilarion, beneath the whispering canopy, a new chapter awaited, the dawn of a future yet unwritten, its pages waiting to be filled by the light of their courage and the strength of their hearts. Heart beyond the whispering canopy and the sheltering boughs of the elder tree, the companions pressed onward, drawn inexorably toward the source of the rift. A tear in the fabric of magic, a scar upon the land where echoes of the past whispered warnings of the future. This journey led them to the brink of the Rift of Echoes, a place where time and reality twisted upon themselves, like a serpent devouring its tail. The landscape here was unlike any they had encountered, a wild, tumultuous expanse where the rules of nature were bent by the whims of the rift's chaotic energy. The air was charged, filled with a palpable tension, and the ground beneath their feet felt alive, thrumming with a rhythm that was not their own. Before venturing further, the companions paused, gathering their courage and strength. The shattered star glowed brightly in Kael's hand, its light a beacon of hope and unity amidst the swirling tempest of time and magic. It was this light they would need to guide them through the enveloping darkness. As they entered the rift, the world around them shifted, the sky above a kaleidoscope of shifting hues, where moments played out in a perpetual dance, memories and possibilities overlapping, blending into a tapestry of potential. The path forward was uncertain, each step a venture into the unknown. The first challenge they faced was not a creature of darkness, but the rift itself. The echoes of time manifested as phantoms, apparitions of those long gone or not yet born, their presence both haunting and enlightening. Faces of loved ones appeared, voices called out from the shadows, pulling at their hearts with memories of warmth and sorrow, of joy and regret. For Arin, it was a reminder of the family she had lost, their smiles and laughter a beacon from a life cut short. For Elara, visions of her ancestors, powerful mages who had shaped the world with their will, urging her to grasp the true breadth of her power. Finnian saw comrades fallen in battle, their sacrifices a reminder of the duty he bore. Liara was drawn into the vision of a serene future, a world where the forests flourished and peace reigned. Kael faced the echo of his own doubts, confronted with the man he could become, both hero and tyrant, depending on the choices he made. Guided by the wisdom of these echoes, bolstered by the strength of their shared purpose, they navigated the ever-shifting landscape, their resolve unbroken by the visions that sought to lead them astray. As they journeyed deeper, they encountered the Echo Guardian, a being forged from the rift itself, an embodiment of the balance they sought to restore. The Guardian was a towering figure, its form ever-changing, composed of the same ethereal energy that permeated the rift. You who seek the rift's heart. The Guardian intoned, its voice resonating with the voices of all who had come before. To mend what is broken, you must first understand the echoes of your own souls. The Guardian's challenge was not one of combat, but of understanding. Each of them was drawn into a personal trial, faced with the aspects of themselves they had yet to reconcile, the fears that lingered, the ambitions unspoken. Arin embraced the spirit of forgiveness, allowing herself to let go of the past that had shackled her. Elara accepted the solitude that came with her power, vowing to use it not for herself, but for the world she wished to protect. Finnian found peace with his choices, understanding that loyalty could be both a burden and a gift. Liara, acutely aware of her connection to nature, resolved to act as a bridge between the world of men and the realm of the wild. And Kael, through the shattered star's light, reconciled his dual potential, choosing the path of creation over the shadow of control. With understanding came unity, and with unity, the power to heal the rift. The shattered star's brilliance intensified, its light weaving through the fabric of the rift, binding the echoes and mending the wound at the heart of the land. The guardian, its purpose fulfilled, bowed in silent acknowledgement before dissolving into the ether for which it had come. As the rift closed, the storm of echoes subsided, the world around them stabilizing into a scene of tranquil beauty, where the sky was clear and the air was still. The companions stood together, their task complete, the balance restored. Yet in that moment of triumph, the final twist revealed itself, a vision not from the rift, but from the star itself, a glimpse of a future reshaped by their deeds, where new alliances formed, new challenges rose, and the legacy of their journey became a beacon for generations to come. With the shattered stars light as their guide, they left the rift of echoes behind, their hearts full of hope and promise. The path ahead was one of endless possibility, a world waiting to be rediscovered and renewed by those courageous enough to embrace the dawn of new horizons.